So today I want to talk about pre-approval letters, kind of what they are and why does it even matter. So when you go to buy a house, the very first step, if you plan to use a mortgage, is to get a pre-approval. A pre-approval is basically when a mortgage lender reviews your assets, your income, your credit, and they determine how much they will loan you, how much the bank will loan you, and what your interest rate would probably be. So pre-approvals are really important in two different ways. First, it's going to tell you what your purchasing power is. It lets you know how much money you can borrow, which tells you basically what your budget will be. Now, you may not want to go as high as the pre-approval tells you, but that's up to you. At least you know what the bank would be willing to lend you. Second, with a pre-approval letter, it gives you an actual letter, and this is almost always required when you go to make an offer on a home. So unless you plan to pay entirely in cash, you really need that pre-approval to show sellers that you're serious and you're actually able to buy the house. In this market, with so many homes going with multiple offers, pre-approval letters are absolutely critical. And then with COVID, there's even another layer of importance because many sellers are actually requiring pre-approval letters before you even step foot in the house for a showing. For the seller, this cuts down on the number of unqualified buyers actually touring their home. And of course, too many buyers touring your house, it puts them at risk of infection if it's an occupied property. So a lot of sellers, with the current situation are actually requiring it before you book that showing. So if you're serious about the home buying process, step one, get a pre-approval. And if you need a recommendation, I can share some great lenders. It's okay to shop around, but stick with a lender who not only gives you a great rate, but who's also available. Big banks are all good, but some of the smaller lenders really pride themselves and differentiate themselves on their availability and their service. So definitely give them a shot. And then finally, some people are nervous about having a lender, or especially multiple lenders, do a hard hit on their credit to get a pre-approval actually done. Your credit may go down a small amount with this process, but the credit bureaus usually give you about a 2-week window to shop around, so they know if you're doing these multiple hits that that's what you are doing, and they kind of give you some leeway. And again, while your credit may take like a small dip at first, it will be right back to where it was in a month or so. So it's not a good enough reason to avoid this process if you're actually in the market to buy a house. If you have any questions, please reach out. We can talk about it, and I'd love to help. Have a great weekend.